Incredible. Hi, Selim.
Hi, Ivan.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
The sound is incredible. You're a French pianist, so when did you decide to settle in Vienna?
I met my teacher actually in France, but he was a huge fan of French culture, and he gave masterclasses in south of France, in Villecroze, small village. And after probably 2 minutes, I realized that I wanted to go to work with him and to study, and which means study and live in Vienna. And so I arrived in Vienna for him, and I stayed here for many other reasons.
And this is also a city of music, so for you it must be just a dream to be here.
Exactly, this is also quite the main priority. It's the fact that we're always very close to a big venue, big hall. For example, the concert house is 5 minutes from the Musikverein, which is 5 minutes from the Vienna State Opera, and so many other smaller venues that are amazing all the time. Incredible concerts, so many nights where I had to make a choice between going to this opera or listening to this fantastic pianist and this fantastic orchestra. It's a struggle. I have the feeling that I've always wanted to do piano, and that it was quite obvious and there was no question about that. So my parents were, of course, music lovers, but they were not playing instruments. My mother played a little bit the piano, and she wanted to start again the piano, so she bought a little upright piano. And I stole the piano, literally, and I started the piano.
So now I'm sure you practice much more. How much time do you devote to the piano every day?
Well, when I have time, and what I would love to do is to do maximum between 5 and 6 hours.
Wow.
Then when I have concerts, I obviously can't practice 5 hours, otherwise I'm going to be very tired at the concerts day. And of course there are also transport days where I can't practice.
So where are we now?
So here we're in Bösendorfer Salon, which is the exhibition center of the Piano Bösendorfer here in Vienna. We're just behind the Musikverein, which is this famous venue with the gold hall.
With the famous New Year's Eve
exactly,
concert.
For the New Year's concert, exactly. So the Bösendorfer piano are made in Austria, they're made in Vienna, a little bit outside Vienna, Neustadt. And as you can see, there are many different models, because here it's like the wine tasting cave here for the piano. So we have different samples, if I may, of different pianos, which reflect all the possibility that Bösendorfer can do.
And my mother is a piano teacher and organ teacher also. So I was involved with piano and keys since I was a little child. And I was just interested in the techniques around the piano and the music at the same time. And this was bringing me to the piano and to making the piano also. To build such a piano, it first of all starts with the purchase of the wood. This is mainly spruce. Spruce is the best sounding material that you can imagine. And this has to be stored and seasoned outside for several years. So actually everything starts about 4 to 5 years before finishing the piano to purchase the wood. Bösendorfer pianos, of course, have a very strong, very specific identity. It's very much linked to the fact that Bösendorfer is located in Vienna, where music has such a big historical background. If you think back to Mozart, Beethoven, Schubert, Brahms, Strauss, Mahler, etc., you could name a lot more. So Bösendorfer is very much linked to this tradition of Viennese music and also the Viennese type of sound. And Bösendorfer is part of that.
Is there a specific place in Vienna that you particularly like and you would like to take us to?
Oh, there are so many places. There is one even calmer than Vienna, even gemütlicher than Vienna, that I particularly love, is where I go high up in Grinzing. Grinzing, it's just above Heiligenstadt, and you're in the middle of the countryside, vineyards, beautiful view on Vienna, and the forest. So
well, let's go there. Let's go there.
With pleasure.
Hi, Rouslan.
Nice to meet you, Elfriede.
Nice to meet you. Welcome in Schönbrunn Palace.
Thank you very much. I've heard that this place is the most popular site in Austria. Can you tell me more about the history of Schönbrunn Palace?
Schönbrunn Palace is one of the most visited sites in whole Austria. It's very well known all over the world. And the reason why it's so popular is that it was the summer residence of Maria Theresa, who was the monarch of the Austrian Empire, married with Francis Stephen of Lorraine, who was the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, which we had a long tradition. And what's so special in Schönbrunn Palace is that Maria Theresa found a very nice combination between representative function and also family palace.
Two women made this place famous. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, the one is Maria Theresa, who contracted to remodel the palace into her summer palace, yeah, with all the needed functions like reception halls and private apartments for her husband and her family on the one side. And the other person, which is very famous, but she was not that much in Schönbrunn Palace like Maria Theresa, was Empress Elizabeth, more than 100 years later, who was supposed to stay here also a lot of time with her own private apartment, which was furnished when she was married with the young Francis Joseph. But she, for her very personal character, decided not to stay so much time in Schönbrunn Palace like her husband wanted and the court expected from her. But Maria Theresa, she was the one who loved to stay here from the early spring to the late autumn. The name Million Room derives after the end of the monarchy with the knowing that this room was so precious, or is so precious, and it has cost so much money. Then from that time ongoing, it was called the Million Room. So it's a very nice story.
So here we are in a very Viennese concept, the Heurigers. Can you tell us a bit more about this?
Well, it's those places where you want to eat some seasoned vegetables, and if you want to drink some very good white wine, or if you want to drink Sturm, because we are here at the end of the summer, so it's like the first production of the grape, which is a fabulous thing, very sweet and delicious. And we can also imagine that the music as well comes from here. Everybody says that Schubert was inspired by the Heurigers music. So you can hear some with a gypsy inspiration or Ungarese, as they say, so Hungarian inspirations. All this music also come from here. So there is this always, even if today we don't see any musicians, there is always a connection towards music.
Maria Theresia let install this cabinet, and the purpose was to have a very nice interior together with her very intimate friends. Yeah, these people were her husband, her counselor, some very noble aristocrat people, and what she liked to do is having conferences here where very important political things were discussed. And on the other side, in the evening, she liked to gather here to gamble. And they gathered and they played for a very high amount of money and
Really?
sums.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
We take care about different restaurants who will work on our furnitures, on our paintings and other stuff in the castles, and we take care that they will do everything fine and look for all the time they will work on the stuff, perhaps in half a year or more, how long it needs. And we looked that everything is fine. Normally, the restoration of a room takes for 1 year, and with all the pre-work, it takes 1.5 years from the beginning to the end. And in this time, all the chairs, all the tables, all the floor, the walls, the paintings, and the ceiling have to be done.
A chief curator has many tasks and responsibilities. Yeah, the main challenge is how to make preventive conservation with UNESCO World Heritage like Schönbrunn Palace is. All the objects are in a database, so that we have the basic data on everything, on each room with its part, like the walls, the ceiling and the floor, and on the other side all the mobile objects.
Where are we now?
We are now in the Privy as a part of the Schönbrunn garden, which was exclusively dedicated to the imperial family. After Maria Theresia opened the garden for the public 2 years before she died in 1778. And the garden is an example for the Baroque design, which is very special in Schönbrunn because in the last decade of Maria Theresia's epoch, she contracted Hohenberg, her court architecture, to remodel the whole garden with a more modern design. So the Baroque garden is one of the few pieces of the time of the middle of the 18th century that shows the Baroque design.
There's one very important composer for me and also for Vienna. And his grave is here. He lived in New York. He was born here and he left Austria for New York, where he conducted the New York Philharmonic. But he was here, director of the Vienna State Opera. His grave is just here. It's Gustav Mahler.
Okay, so chef, what are you preparing right now?
Wir präparieren gerade die Kohlrabi-Röllchen für heute Abend, für den Service. Mit Topinambur gefüllt. Die werden jetzt eingerollt. Und später kommt noch Garnituren drauf, verschiedene Kräuter und Blüten.
Okay, so I read that you everything began because you were cooking for your little brother when you were very young.
Yes.
So can you tell a bit more about this?
Die Geschichte fängt eigentlich so an, dass mein Vater sehr jung gestorben ist und ich natürlich zu Hause war und mein Bruder Hunger hatte. Und deswegen habe ich mich mit 7 Jahren dann probiert, einen Karottensalat zu kochen für ihn, mit 7 Jahren. Das heißt, ich habe viel in der Küche zugeschaut bei meiner Mutter und habe mich dann mit 7 Jahren dann einfach selbst probiert, mal einen Karottensalat zu machen. Ja? Und so hat das alles begonnen. Ja?
So it was the beginning of Silvio Nickol.
Yes, of course.
So here what are we preparing?
Was wir jetzt präparieren, ist ein Signature-Dish von mir, der sich über die letzten 8 Jahre entwickelt hat, bis zu dem, was es jetzt ist.
When you created it, how many times did you do it before having the final result you liked?
Die Zeit kann sich von 5 Minuten bis 5 Wochen hinziehen, ja? Je nachdem, ob man einen Volltreffer hat oder nicht. Ja?
When do you think it's fine, it's okay, this one is ready, it's great? Is it something that it's a click in your mind and say, okay, this time it's okay? Or?
Ja, wir machen alle Gerichte zusammen im Team und wir fallen natürlich so lange, bis es für uns, für den Gast perfekt ist. Ja? Aber das ist immer noch nicht der Endpunkt des Gerichtes. Das heißt, jedes Gericht kann sich trotzdem noch im Laufe der Zeit weiterentwickeln. Mit dem Feedback der Gäste und natürlich unseren Erfahrungen über die Tage, Wochen vielleicht, wie man es eventuell noch besser machen könnte.
So and the famous brioche with 50% Butter.
50% Butterbrioche, genau. Naja.
Where do you take your inspiration? Because that's just visually completely stunning. It's called Der Wald. So when does it come? Does it come, I don't know, during your night, you dream of it, or because you walk in Der Wald, or where does it come, this inspiration?
Die Inspiration hole ich mir natürlich meist in meinen freien Tagen. Das heißt, ich gehe gerne spazieren, auch im Wald. Ich wohne etwas außerhalb von Wien, gehe sehr gerne spazieren, auch im Wald. Und da lasse ich mich natürlich inspirieren von dem Umfeld. Und das war immer so ein Ziel. Mein Name, wie ich herausgefunden habe, hat auch eine Bedeutung, der aus dem Wald kommt. Also Silvio, der Name Silvio hat eine Bedeutung, der aus dem Wald kommt. Und da habe ich natürlich dann auch irgendwo auch diese Verbindung gehabt.